It is another beautiful day in Ohio, and it's back-to-back time. One of my favorite things. This is my 21 Kailub Russell KR350 Factory Edition. It's got all the cool stuff, including full pro component WP suspension and a full Akrapovic exhaust and the My Connectivity unit. But this track I'm going to use now, what we're going to test now is a old school GP track. I'm just going to put it in the green map, so there'll be no mapping on it. This is my brand new 350XCF. It's all stock except the full Akrapovic. And it's got the new frame. It's got the new spring forks. I'm going to take a lap here around this old school GP course. It's kind of a little bit more high-speed, choppy kind of stuff, and we'll see how these two bikes feel. I'm going to go to map 2, which is aggressive. It's dry and hard-packed today. Perfect time to see how my gold standard 4-stroke Kailub Russell 350 does against the newer one. Now this is where this pro component stuff, suspension is so nice, and this chop, and it just absorbs that little bump so nice. Of course, this bike has 31 hours on it, so I guess the chassis is broken in, and so are the tires. They're AT81s. Here's this little chop back here. That is smooth. And with this Akrapovic on this thing, it has got some low to mid power. Now this one definitely feels light because it is lighter, but I think it has just a more playful feel overall. Boy, the bump absorption is just so good on this bike. I can feel these worn out AT81s. .204.34, 204.3, 4.3. Man, I like this bike. Power weight handling, 350s. And this is that older chassis. It just has this lightweight feel. Even with this big tank, I love the way it feels. All right, let's see how the newer, supposed to be better chassis feels. Back to back. 4.3. Green. I'm going to turn traction control off so we have full power. Yeah, this new engine. It's like a mini 450. This has that nice low to mid. Definitely feel a little more of that braking chop there. A little more feedback. Now this frame's only got 2 hours on it. Man, it's slippery. Did that chop. Oh, a little bit more. You can feel that track a little more compared to the other one. That back little choppy section. This thing has got a brute. Boy, that engine. I really like this engine. It is powerful. Still a 350, so it is playful. maybe it's got a little bit more stability up front. Definitely more traction with the newer tires. Wow. This thing pulls. Okay, 201.1. Okay, 4.3, 1.1. What do you got there? 3 seconds. So definitely can feel a little bit more kind of the upward, mostly through the pegs, I think. The forks feel pretty darn good and hardly using much travel there. There's no jumps on this track, but it's got a little bit more weighty feel in the front end. Maybe a tick more traction. I know the tires are a little bit different, but the engine just stands out. It's got the full Akrapovic, but I don't have the CO unit. I'll probably turn engine braking down. And a day like today, I'd turn throttle response down and dial it like that. But with more loamy tracks, I could turn it up. But I think it feels pretty darn good. Definitely more compliant than the 23 stuff I've been riding. And the mapping seems to be done up really well too. So I like it. Kailub Russell. Man, this chassis, I can understand why people like this chassis. It's a little more busy at speed, but boy, it's got compliance. It turns good. And, you know, I guess it's a little bit lower to the ground too. I don't really notice the back jet. Definitely feels lower. Tends to ride a little bit lower. But I set them both at 108 mil sag. For me, I'm 6'2", 190. And they both have the same springs, 4.5s in the back. These are 4.6s up front, and I think that's the same even on the 350XCF, the new one. And honestly, the gearing doesn't even feel that different. I think they changed it this year. It's 1450 on the new one, but I don't notice. This one's a little bit taller, but I don't really notice it. Anyhow, if you've got one of these and it's set up good, wow, I don't know. I think this one might be hanging around a bit. But I'm going to do some more back-to-backs with them, some more conditions in that. Any 2 big thumbs up for 350s. Church of 350. Power weight handling. What a great combination in a 4-stroke dirt bike.